Hello, this is Z, and welcome to Healing with Z, a space of intentional living where we find natural ways to take care of the mind, the body, and the soul. So, today I want to come to you guys because I want to talk to you about the seizure that happened on January 7th. Today officially marks 103 days since I got off the anticonvulsant medication. I'm not taking anything. I am on a strict keto diet. And I'm hoping that this will eventually help me get control of this new onset seizures that I started experiencing about a year ago, this month, because I had my very first seizure on January 27th, 2025. This week has been so difficult for me emotionally because I believe that I have done everything that I can to help myself try to pinpoint why this is happening. And the reason why I decided to go and get off the medication was because I believed that the medication was not helping. It was making things worse. And I just decided that it was probably time for me to take my health into my own hands. And the fact that I wasn't born with this means to me that something is short, like there's like a malfunction that's happening that I need to find what it is, because I wasn't born with this, meaning that there's a reason why it's happening. You know, if I was born with it, and I said this multiple times in my previous videos, that I would not have cared. Like I would not, it wouldn't have bothered me as much if I was born with it. But I wasn't born with it. I just started experiencing seizing at age 40. Age 40, when I was fine for 40 years. So something is happening in my body, and I need to understand what it is and fix it, and not just merely put a pill on it and hope for the best, or decide that, oh, I'm just going to be a pill popper for the rest of my life. I cannot do that. So I also was open to the idea of taking medication, but then quickly realized how bad it was for me and how it affected me, and I didn't like the way it made me feel. And so I decided that, you know what, I'm just gonna go about this my own way and see if I can heal myself somehow. So the month of December was a good month. There was no seizing, and which was like very refreshing to me, because then it made me realize that, okay, whatever it is that I was doing must have been working somehow, because it was the first time that I haven't seized. I seized about once a month, but nothing happened in December. And so I was like so optimistic that, oh my God, maybe I finally got it. But I still don't know why it's happening, because I have completely did a 180 on my lifestyle. I have been a 20-year vegan that decided to go keto and eat meat after 20 years of not eating anything that has a parent. For the sake of my health, I was like, if whatever it takes, I'm going to do it. I went keto. I eat the same few things every day at the same time for the past, I would say, strictly so, the past 4 months. I've been eating the same thing every day, rotating the same thing every day at the same time. And, you know, I cut off all the stresses in my life. My baby daddy, like the kid's father, moved to a different state. I took some time off from work because I was like, I need to understand why this is happening. Is it work stress? Is it marriage stress? What is it? You know, because already I don't consume alcohol. Nothing. I don't eat crap. I cook my own food. And so I needed to understand what was it? Was it in the food that I was eating that was causing it? Is it because there was no fat in the food other than the avocado that I was eating on a daily basis? Or what was it that was causing this to happen? So I needed to understand the why behind everything. I still cannot fully say that I know the why, because still I am seizing. I seized on January 7th out of nowhere, and there was no trigger. I was asleep. It was like 5 a.m. in the morning, right before I had to wake up to go to my CrossFit class, because I wake up at 5 o'clock to get ready to go to CrossFit. The seizure that happened on January 7th was around 4:50 a.m. I was asleep. I sleep with my 7-year-old son on the same bed. He's when he sleeps like he is dead. Like he doesn't hear anything. Even when I have to wake him up, I have to shake him a few times to get him to wake up. But he was the one that woke up and went to go woke up my daughter in her bedroom. And then they called my neighbor because I was having a seizure. My 7-year-old son woke up from me seizing. The kid that would sleep and don't hear anything was woken up by me seizing. That should tell you something. That freaked me out because it means that it must have been so severe for it to wake him up, so that he then wake his sister up so that they can call for help. And so this week emotionally was really difficult for me because I couldn't quite understand why this continues to happen, even though I have gone completely 180 on my lifestyle. I exercise regularly. I CrossFit probably 5 times a week. And on top of that, I go for a 5.5 mile walk right after CrossFit every day, including Saturdays, sometimes Sundays. I do try to take one day off on the weekends, but for the most part, I am very active physically. And then I don't eat out. I don't eat fast food. I eat the same thing every day. I only have 2 meals a day. Those 2 meals consist of, the first one would be 2 boiled eggs, Vital Farm eggs. And I choose Vital Farm eggs because of the free range and the way they raise their chickens. And then I go and have a beef patty that I fry in tallow. And I use 1 onion that I fry the beef patty in, and then I would have broccoli with that, also fried in the beef tallow, and 1 avocado, and maybe 2 slices of the square cheese. That's it. And it's all grass-fed, organic, like no artificial, nothing. It's 1 ingredient food items that I consume. That is my first meal. My second meal is a yogurt bowl, and I make the same yogurt bowl every day. That one I eat a few hours after my first meal. My first meal is normally between 11:30 or 1 o'clock. That's when I start feeling hungry, and I would have my first meal. My second meal is before 5 p.m., which is the yogurt bowl. That one is a half a cup of Bellwether sheep yogurt. And then I have 3/4 of a cup of cream that I put in. Just cream, no other stuff. Just one ingredient, and it says cream. I put it in the yogurt bowl, and then I would put 22 blueberries. And I just randomly chose the number 22 because it's my daughter's favorite number, because she was born on the 22nd of the month that she was born in. And so I put 22 blueberries, and then I would put in a 1/4 cup of crushed macadamia nuts, because I read that they don't have a lot of omega-6s like all the other nuts. So that's why I prefer macadamia nuts versus all the other ones. And I put I crushed some macadamia nuts in the yogurt bowl, and that will be it. On weekends, I treat myself and would have maybe 2 squares of Hu milk chocolate in the yogurt bowl. And Hue is a great, it's a clean brand. They don't have any artificial stuff in the chocolate. That's why I choose their chocolate. And that's only a treat for me on the weekends. During the week, no sugar, nothing other than the blueberries and the sugar that is naturally in the milk of the yogurt that I consume. So that is my meals. That has been my meals every day. I've been eating the same thing for the past 4 months since I came back from my trip abroad. Even when I was abroad, I was eating like this. But it became more strict when I got back home. And now I eat the same thing every day. And so my meals are very fat heavy. I think my diet contains 80% fat, 15% protein, and 5% carbs. That's the makeup of my diet. It's very fat heavy, and I feel great. And guess what? I haven't gained weight. I mean, I exercise, I've gained muscle, but I haven't gained weight. My stomach used to be huge for a long time, and I was like, oh, I had just given birth, but I had given birth like 7 years ago. When my daughter was 7, and I still had the big belly, and then I had my son, and I still had a big belly. But now, when I look at myself, well, it is, the belly is going, getting smaller. And even my kids notice, and they're like, mommy, your belly's not as big anymore. I'm like, which is weird because I eat a lot of fat. And normally we think fat makes you fat, but I guess not. And I didn't know that. And had I known before that fat doesn't make you fat, I probably would have gotten on a fat forward diet a long time ago. So this is all to say that, I am happy. Physically, I look great. Mentally, I feel great. I just haven't quite figured out why I am seizing. It happens once a month. This time it skipped December. It didn't happen in December. It happened the first week of January. One thing that I noticed though, and one thing that I've been paying attention to is that it happened a day before my period. I seized on January 7th. I had my period January 8th. In November, same thing happened. I seized, and then I had my menstrual cycle start a couple of days later. Same thing happened in October. So I don't know if my menstrual cycle has anything to do with why this is happening. I am paying attention though. I'm paying attention. I had my period in December. I didn't seize in December. That's why I'm getting thrown off, and I cannot say for certain that it has to do with my menstrual cycle. But I'm paying attention. I'll keep you all posted. I will be back and let you know how I do for the rest of the month of January and February. And hopefully I can come back here and tell you guys that, you know what? I don't seize anymore. I will remain hopeful, and I promise I will tell you guys the good, the bad, the ugly. I am not going to hide anything from y'all. I know this is a difficult illness, especially for those of us who has late onset, whatever this is. I don't want to classify it as epilepsy. My doctors don't say it is epilepsy. I have gone and did all of the tests. I did the MRI, the EEG, the CT scan, everything. And there's nothing. There's nothing, like nothing, no scar tissue on the brain and nothing. So they don't know, and I don't know. And I am refusing to just throw a pill at it, because you cannot tell me you don't know what's going on, but you are okay with me taking medication that is affecting me the way the pills that they prescribe me has affected me. So I've decided that no, I don't care. but I need to advocate for myself. We are not taking any pharmaceutical pills over here. We are going to figure out why this is happening. We're going to find the root cause and we are going to figure this out for ourselves. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Until next time.